Hello everybody, welcome to KPIS Delhi's CARE Initiative, Current Affairs through Reverse Engineering. These are the articles that we'll be seeing today. Supreme Court refers to Constitution Bench, Kerala suit against centre's shackles on states borrowing powers. So the context or point of discussion is to what extent there's financial autonomy granted by the constitution to the states and about net borrowing ceiling imposed by centre on states. Okay, so there's an issue going on between Kerala and the central government, and recognizing the complexity and constitutional implications of the dispute, the court, that is Supreme Court, referred the matter to a 5-judge constitution bench. You need to know some basics for prelims. First things first, Article 293 of the Constitution allows states to borrow exclusively within Indian borders with guarantees from the consolidated fund of the respective state. Okay, and within limits set by the state legislatures. Alright, now entry 43 of the state list in the Constitution talks about public debt of the state. Okay, in the state list, entry number 43 talks about public debt of the state. Okay, what does this imply? This implies that Parliament lacks authority to legislate or govern in this domain. So first point, this is the second point. And third point, if a state is opting to borrow from central government, such transactions would be governed by the FRBM Act. Alright? And under the same article 293, there's clause 3 which says that state governments are required to take centre's permission for fresh borrowing if they are indebted to the government of India. Therefore, from this one, the net borrowing ceiling was imposed by the central government under this provision. Okay, so these are some basics, and this is the thing that central did. Centre imposed this ceiling. Now, what is Kerala alleging? Kerala government is alleging that the union government's imposition of net borrowing ceiling has led to severe financial crisis, hindering its ability to meet essential financial commitments such as salaries and pensions. Okay, this is Kerala's argument. And it is also saying that it is fiscal autonomy guaranteed under 293 of the Indian Constitution. And the state also is arguing that the fiscal matters, including public debt, fall under the state legislature's domain, and the union government's interference through the NBC is unconstitutional. Then what is the centre saying? The centre is saying that Kerala's financial troubles are a result of its own fiscal mismanagement over the years rather than actions by the centre. Now, what will happen if NBC is in place, that is net borrowing ceiling? What will happen is, if this NBC limits states' borrowing capacity, diminishing their financial autonomy. So this is the actual issue. Alright? Now, consider the following statements. Public debt of the state is listed under entry 43 of the concurrent list in the Constitution. It is not concurrent list, it is state list. Alright. Next, Article 293 allows the states to borrow outside the territory of India. What outside territory of India? It is inside the territory of India, right? Now, net borrowing ceiling limits states borrowing capacity, diminishing their financial autonomy. Yes, this is the issue, right? That's why they're all fighting. How many of the above statements are incorrect? Yeah, 1 and 2 are incorrect. So only 2 statements are incorrect. Now, the Parliament of India acquires the power to legislate on any item in the state list in the national interest if a resolution to that effect is passed by. So it should be Rajya Sabha in first place. We'll see whether it's majority simple or special majority, but it should be Rajya Sabha, right? So Lok Sabha, if you're saying, you have to cross it off immediately. Rajya Sabha by a simple majority of its total membership. This is wrong because Article 249 says that Parliament has the power to legislate with respect to matter in the state list in the national interest, and such resolution should be passed by Rajya Sabha by a majority of not less than two-thirds of its members present and voting. Okay. So D is the answer. See, if one statement is right, two statements are right, then you have to read the entire statement. But here it's only one option, no? So that's why give importance to statements which are having Rajya Sabha first. Zimbabwe declares drought, disaster, and El Nino effect. So this is the context and the news snippet. Now some basics about the issue. Zimbabwe declared a state of disaster on April 3rd over a devastating drought that's sweeping across much of southern Africa, with the country's president saying it needs $2 billion for humanitarian assistance. And this drought is linked to the El Nino weather phenomenon. Due to El Nino induced drought, more than 80% of the country received below normal rainfall. And United Nations World Food Programme has already rolled out a food assistance program targeting 2.7 million people in that country, which is approximately 20% of the country's population, from January to March. And you know what? According to United Nations World Food Programme, February 2024 was the driest month in 40 years for two countries, that is for Zambia and Zimbabwe. These are some basics about this part of the news. And what is this El Nino? So El Nino is a climate pattern that describes unusual warming of the surface waters in the eastern tropical Pacific Ocean. And this is the warm phase of larger phenomenon called as El Nino Southern Oscillation, or ENSO. And this one affects the Indian monsoons also. In a El Nino year, we will have scanty rainfall. Consider the following statements with regards to Zimbabwe. Due to devastating drought, Zimbabwe has declared a state of disaster recently. This is true. That is the context of the article also. No? Now, more than 60% of Zimbabwe's population live in urban areas. This is wrong because more than 60%, that is around 15 million people in Zimbabwe, live in rural areas. Alright, so this is wrong. According to the World Food Programme, February 2024 was the driest month in 40 years for Zambia and Zimbabwe. Which of the statements given above are correct? 1 and 3 are right. 2 is wrong, no? Yeah. With reference to Indian Ocean Dipole, sometimes mentioned in the news while forecasting Indian monsoons, which of the following statements are correct? Indian Ocean Dipole phenomenon is characterized by a difference in sea surface temperature between tropical Western Indian Ocean and tropical Eastern Pacific Ocean. See, the name itself is saying it is Indian Ocean Dipole. Then why will this Pacific Ocean come into picture? This is wrong. It should be Eastern Indian Ocean, not Pacific Ocean. Next. An IOD phenomenon can influence an El Nino's impact on the monsoon. Yes, this is also true because when IOD is positive, it can bring good rains to India despite an El Nino year. Alright, so this is true. So select the correct answer using the given code. So B is right. India to build first commercial crude oil strategic storage. Now the question would be where? Where? In Padur, in Karnataka, in the state of Karnataka. Okay, so India, the world's third largest oil consumer and importer, plans to build its first commercial crude oil strategic storage in Padur in the state of Karnataka. And it will be a 2.5 million ton underground storage. Alright, so the storage will be built under phase 2 of ISPRL's project. Now, what is this ISPRL? It is Indian Strategic Petroleum Reserves Limited. It is a special purpose vehicle, and in the year 2006, the ownership of this Indian Strategic Petroleum Reserve Limited was transferred to OIDB, that is Oil Industry Development Board. So basically, the projects, the strategic storages are built in phase 1 and phase 2. In phase 1, Vishakhapatnam, Mangaluru, and Padur are there. And in phase 2, again Padur and Chandikol. Alright. Chandikol is in the state of Odisha. Vishakhapatnam is in Andhra Pradesh. Mangaluru is again in Karnataka. Why are we building these strategic reserves? Because in emergency situations, there would be supply disruption, right? So that's why, to meet such emergency situations, to meet the needs in such emergency situations, these strategic storages are built. Consider the following statements. Indian Strategic Petroleum Reserves Limited is a special purpose vehicle created by the government for building and operating strategic petroleum reserves in the country. This is true. India currently has 3 strategic petroleum reserves, namely Vishakhapatnam, Mangaluru, and Padur. Yes, phase 1. They are all in phase 1. How many of the above statements are incorrect? None of them is incorrect, right? So neither 1 nor 2. The term West Texas Intermediate, sometimes found in news, refers to a grade of, it is crude oil. So West Texas Intermediate is a benchmark for oil extracted from America. Okay. Then you would have heard about this Brent crude oil. This is a benchmark for crude oil obtained from North Sea near Norway, Sweden, and United Kingdom. Whereas West Texas Intermediate, Texas, that place is in America. So West Texas Intermediate is a benchmark for oil extracted from America. Alright, it was given in 2020. Tamil Nadu tops in electronics exports to the US. So the context is that in the last 2 fiscal years, close to 40% of India's smartphones were sent from just one district, and that is Kanchipuram in Tamil Nadu. Alright, so Tamil Nadu has become India's largest exporter of electronic goods in financial year 23 and accounted for 30% of all electronic goods exports from India in the financial year 2024. Alright, before Tamil Nadu, it was usually Uttar Pradesh and Karnataka. And to which countries did Tamil Nadu export the most? It exported to United States, followed by United Arab Emirates and Netherlands. Alright, this is the descending order of exports. And before Tamil Nadu, it was usually Uttar Pradesh or Karnataka which exported the electronics, highest in number. However, in financial year 2024, Tamil Nadu's exports were greater than combined exports of Uttar Pradesh and Karnataka. Isn't it fascinating? So these are some basics you have to remember about the given current affair article. This one is important. Consider the following statements. Tamil Nadu in India is the largest importer of smartphones from USA. No, it is. India's largest exporter of electronics in the financial year 2023 and accounted for 30% of all electronic goods exports from India in financial year 24. And it has exported highest number to USA, followed by UAE and then Netherlands. Alright, so this is wrong because it's saying imported. Now, in financial year 24, Tamil Nadu's electronic exports were higher than the combined exports of Uttar Pradesh and Karnataka. Yes, This is right. Which of the above statements these are incorrect? Only first statement is incorrect. So A is the answer. The SEZ Act 2005, which came into effect in February 2006, has certain objectives. In this context, consider the following. Development of infrastructure facilities. What is SEZ? Special Economic Zone. So in Special Economic Zone, what will you have? If it is the IT SEZ, you will have IT companies. Any SEZ, you need infrastructure. So this is right. All right. Which of the above are the objectives of this act? So this is right. When 1 is right, B is gone, C is also gone. 2 is common, that means 2 is right. Promotion of investment from foreign sources, right. Promotion of exports of services only. See, this is the trap here. So this used to work before 2023. Now you have to be very careful. You should have absolute knowledge. All right. Promotion of exports of services only. This is wrong. So 1 and 2 are the correct statements. India Employment Report IER 2024. Now, who gives this report? It is ILO, that is International Labour Organization, coupled with Institute for Human Development. Okay, now this report actually questions on the trickle-down effect of benefits to the working class in the backdrop of 5.4% average real economic growth from 2015-16 to 2022-23. So there are some facts that the report mentions, and there is a divergence in the facts also. Not diversity, divergence. Okay. The first thing is that this report says there's higher unemployment rate in urban areas, that is at 4.8% in 2000, over 1.5% in rural areas. Okay, and the average, this is one thing. But on the other hand, it's saying that average monthly earnings are higher by 76% for self-employed people, 44% for regular employed, and 22% for casual labor in urban areas in 2022. And it also says that the higher income in urban areas and a better life have prompted rural urban migration in the past. All right. Although the migration has increased, totally, the migration has increased, but the migration of males has declined by 1.2% during the 2000 and between 2000 and 2008, and further marginally in the year 2021 it is further decreased. Okay, what does this imply? This implies that migration for economic mobility is losing its sheen. All right, now some basics about ILO. That International Labour Organization is a United Nations agency whose mandate is to advance social and economic justice by setting international labour standards. And it was founded in the year 1919 under the League of Nations, and it is one of the first and oldest specialized agencies of the UN. And this ILO, yes, India is a member, and it has 187 member states. 186 out of 193 UN member states plus the Cook Islands, and it is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. And in 1969, ILO actually received Nobel Peace Prize for improving fraternity and peace among nations. Consider the following statements. The India Employment Report 2024 highlights a divergent trend between rural and urban areas in terms of employment and income. This is true. It says there's high level of unemployment in urban areas. However, the income is high. So there's divergence in the facts. Okay, that means they're not complementing each other or going hand in hand. They're going this way. They parted their ways and they're going on a different path. Okay, International Labour Organization was founded after the end of Second World War. When did the Second World War end? In 1945, right? When was this ILO founded? It was in 1919. Okay, so not after the at the end of Second World War. Which of the above statements is correct? Only first statement is right. It is end of First World War. Now, in a given year in India, official poverty lines are higher in some states than in others because yesterday we have seen this question in detail. Poverty rates vary from state to state. No. Price levels vary from state to state. Yes. This is correct because yesterday we've taken the example that Delhi and some place like Bihar. Multi-institutional team tracks virus behind India's lumpy skin cattle disease. What is the context? In May 2022, a devastating outbreak of lumpy skin disease in cattle began in India, leading to loss of approximately 1 lakh cows. See, this LSD is not what you are thinking, guys. LSD is lumpy skin disease, okay? So, a team of researchers actually found out why this is happening and what is the cause. Okay, so this lumpy skin disease is caused by a virus which belongs to genus Capripox virus, and it is a part of Poxviridae family, where smallpox and monkeypox virus also are a part of the same family. And you should remember that this lumpy skin disease virus is not zoonotic virus, which means the disease cannot spread to humans from this cattle. Okay, and what is the geographical distribution? Geographical distribution, LSD is currently an endemic to most of Africa, parts of Middle East and Turkey. And how is it transmitted? It is transmitted by blood feeding insects such as certain species of flies and mosquitoes. Infected animals shed their virus through oral and nasal secretions, which may contaminate common feeding water bodies. Okay, and what are the symptoms? This LSD actually affects the lymph nodes of the infected animal, causing the nodes to enlarge and appear like lumps on the skin, which is where it derives its name from. And FAO estimates that the mortality rate is less than 10%. And when was it first reported? The first reported outbreak of LSD occurred in Zambia in 1929. Alright, so these are some basics that you have to remember. Consider the following statement with reference to lumpy skin disease. Lumpy skin disease is an infectious bacterial disease of cattle. It is not bacterial, it is virus. And all the researchers were breaking their heads for the same thing. No? Virus, matlab kahan se aaya? From where did it come? What is the cause? That's what they were researching on. It is not bacteria, it is virus. So first statement is wrong. The Food and Agriculture Organization estimates that its mortality rate is more than 50%. No, it is around 10% or less than 10%. Now, LSD is primarily spread between animals through the bite of vectors. Yes, this is correct. The first reported outbreak of LSD occurred in Zambia in 1929. Yes, this is also right. So, 3 and 4 statements are right, 1 and 2 are incorrect. Which of the above statements are incorrect? First statement and second statement are incorrect. So, A is the answer. Now, mycorrhizal biotechnology has been used in rehabilitating degraded sites because mycorrhiza enables the plants to. Sorry, it's mycorrhiza. Yeah. So, this is a symbiotic alliance between fungi and plants. Okay. So, this association results in the growth and development of plants and its roots. This fungi acts as a biofertilizer and helps to maintain soil biology and chemistry. And fungi usually have the ability to tolerate extremes of pH, soil, high temperature, and heavy metal toxicity. They provide more nutrients to plants. All right. So they will it'll result in healthy plants, and the plant helps in resisting drought and salinity. All right, so these are some basics. All right, you have to remember these basics. Now, coming to the question, resist drought and increase absorptive area. Yes, this is right. Tolerate extremes of pH. Yes, and resist disease infestation. Yes, all the three statements are right. This is it for today. All the best.